Well, this is a program that is really dear to my heart as it reaches out to high school students, students who are in a very vulnerable state in their development, and shares with them real life and career skills that they can use to provide them with successful careers in the future.
Well, actually, before I just thought museums were really boring, no offense. But now that I actually got to go behind the scenes and got to learn about what actually gets to be put in to make a museum work and actually be what it is, it changed my mind. I learned to appreciate and not only appreciate it but also love it. Now every time like I get an opportunity to go to a museum, I'm looking forward to it because it's actually really just interesting to get in touch with other cultures, and it's kind of more, it's not like history class where you just read about it. It's you actually get to see, it's a visual, it's like a hands-on experience.
Um, I think my most memorable experience would be the collections department because I basically got to see like the background of what the whole museum is based off of, and I basically saw that there's way more to it than what I would have ever known.
So originally I already liked museums to begin with, but now I have a greater, I suppose you would say, more enjoyment and more appreciation for it now because I understand the organization that goes behind it. And because of that organization, I feel more obliged to like enjoy it more and be more grateful in advance.
Well, I've always been the type of, I considered myself a leader before, but not what a leader should be. Before, I was just bossy and appointed people into doing things, but that wasn't really leadership at all because leadership involves communication and being able to collaborate with other people. So this program helped me open up my mind and be able to communicate and collaborate with others from like with different backgrounds and different work ethics and just to make the final piece magnificent.
Personally, it's done a lot for my career options, for my future career. For example, we had a guest speaker, who was a graphic designer, and that's what I want to do when I grow up. So it's basically just encouraging me to urge forward and giving me another option of like where I can enter through or basically pursue this career in.
It's been really well received. I think anytime we say, oh, we're doing a teen program, it's all about career development, that immediately the school's ears perk up, the students get excited, the teachers get excited. It's real world experience. They get to be exposed to people who are in a field of industry that they may not be well aware of.
So there's a lot of skills that are taught here while we were in the council, and I think they don't have to be applied in art only. They could be applied in other careers as well because it includes things like leadership and flexibility and such, and I think that can literally be universally applied wherever you go, regardless of career or in just your general lifestyle aspect.
Before, this is my first museum I've ever been to, so before that, I would always see them portrayed on TV as like these boring, very posh places that only fancy people go to, but actually being in one and seeing all of what they have here, it just made me open my eyes to like this whole new world.
I've always liked museums a lot. I just think this experience kind of showed me more of like how many people actually work to do what they do. Because usually when you go to a museum, the only people you really meet, I feel, are like the people at the front desks and like the tour guides. You never really see the people that put it all together.
It's a preconception of a museum as a non-human entity. And behind the museum are just regular people who love the arts, have a passion for art and culture, anthropology, archaeology, so many different things that they want to share with the world. And so within these walls, it's really not a place where there is a us and them, but we're always exploring the we. We're exploring human history, human interaction, and so it's a leveling ground. And we want the students to have ownership in that. Well, what we try to have them do in this program is between each session, consider the skills that we've been talking about and look around them and their daily lives as to how these skills are being implemented by the people they see all around them. So how does my mom show leadership? How does my dad show flexibility? How do I interact with people in a social and cross-cultural way? And so trying to make them aware in the moment of what's going on and seeing how these skills are all around them. It's not an abstract concept, but a really solid, real thing that is not just from school.
Before we even had these sessions, I was a very big procrastinator. I would always leave things till like the last day to turn them in. But now that I've like seen how essential these career skills would be in my future, I started like putting more effort into my schoolworks and projects and trying to get them in on time with like A+ effort.
Definitely. I think actually during our first session, I mentioned how like I was working on a group project and we were talking about like the difference between collaboration and cooperation. And I feel like during that group project, we were only cooperating, kind of telling each other what to do, but never really sitting down together and doing it together. So yeah, I mean, we ended up doing the project collaborating instead of cooperating.
This program definitely has impacted my future career goals because prior to this program, I've always had an interest in the arts, but I never really wanted to do it because, you know, growing up in a Hispanic family, many parents usually think, oh, don't go into the arts. It's going to be hard. You know, it's going to be hard finding a job. But honestly, just seeing the speakers here being so passionate about what they do and happy, I thought, you know, I want to be that person. Like, I want to be able to know that I followed what I want to do. So, you know, instead of just taking a route of just majoring in psychology, I'm actually thinking of double majoring in psychology and art, or at least minoring in that sort of thing. So yeah, it really taught me to know, it pushed me not to give up on that dream. And you know, that's something great.
This was such an experience that I feel I've learned more here than on a textbook at school. So I really do hope that they'll have these sessions and maybe more again next year so that I could have more of a hands-on experience to do.
During my group projects or anything really, just taking initiative and leadership and trying to like get things started between everyone and helping like collaborate ideas instead of just like sitting there and waiting for someone else to do it. So it was really cool to like add that, and it helped me to stop procrastinating. So, so I was really bad at that. So.
But I think for the Bowers especially is making sure that the community knows that we have our doors open to them. And this is something that they own, the community owns, and we want them to be a part of this. And we want people to consider if they're interested in math and they're interested in science and STEM industries, and they're also interested in the arts and the creative industries, that it's not a silo situation. They can do both, and you can have everything. And this is the type of place that you can do that.
For me, I've really tried utilizing these skills at work because I work with kids, and it's very unpredictable what will happen and the environment. I just have to learn how to go with the flow and always stay calm and positive so that everything still goes nice and planned and we still have a good time. I try to use these skills at home as well because family, you know, you gotta cooperate with everyone.
We're hoping to really expand this next year. This year was our pilot program, and we're very excited to work with Santa Ana Unified, and they jumped in so quickly to support us in this. So we're very, very thankful for that and for the support of Edison in giving us the funding for this. Moving forward, we would like to expand this to multiple high schools across Orange County and southern Los Angeles County, and offering maybe a fewer from each school, but bringing those different communities together here as a central space to discuss these things that make us all the same. And so we would like to do more sessions all year long and outreach to other organizations to have field trips and make it not just about the museum, but also about our partner organizations in Orange County.
The most memorable experience for me was that the fact that all the presenters that we met, they all shared some sort of personal story, and then that shows that there's this journey that everyone has of trying to work hard and trying to strive for what they want.
I would definitely do the Teen Arts Council again, just because we were able to learn skills that could benefit our career life and our daily life. Yeah, it was a memorable experience, and I don't think I got enough, and I still want to come back.
I think it's only broadened my perspective on it, like it's just pretty much made me feel more engaged in the whole idea of a museum. Like there's many things that I learned that I would never have learned on my own. And I think it's really pushed me to learn more about like what it is they do and like just what the whole concept of a museum is.
Oh, I really liked the presentations we had. I took notes down, and what really stuck with me was the first presenter, Sasha Deming, the graphic designer. She told us that it can be annoying sometimes, but challenges do help you get better, and that stuck with me. The second presenter was Cody Lee. He was the social media guy. And he said that you have to work hard to get what you want. And Victoria Gerard, she was the collection lady. She said that you have to learn how to be very flexible in your life and schedules. And I think this is really important because they all took different routes to get where they are, and they've all had similar stories, and they all had to do the same thing. And I think I'm going to try to do that in my life to be as successful as them.
Every time we've walked out of the museum down the brick pathway through the,
Right.
They are all, oh my gosh, I can't believe we're leaving. Why are we leaving? I want to stay. That was so cool. I've learned more in the 3 hours here than in my AP World History class. And so it's amazing. And they're just so excited now about their future and like the possibilities of what they could do. Because this program really showed them that things are obtainable now. They're close to us. So.
Well, usually when I thought of a museum, I would think of fossils and like dinosaurs. But now this experience has broadened, what I see in museums now, that I know it's about culture, it's about their history. And it amazes me how every single artifact and exhibit has a story behind it.
They are more comfortable with being in the museum. They have a sense of ownership of the museum, which is really fantastic. I see bright futures for all of them, especially with these skills. A lot of the skills that we discussed are skills that people in working fields don't utilize well. And I've even learned a lot from this experience, thinking about how I am as a leader and how, I act responsible, and I'm learning along with the students. And there's even been some discussion amongst the staff that we should offer this program for all the staff at the museum so that everyone can focus on these skills. And again, these skills go across all fields. So no matter what they do in life, this will be something that they will learn. And it's nice to start thinking about it when you're young.
This would have been such an awesome program if I was to be a part of the Teen Arts Council when I was in high school, for sure. I didn't really even think that I could go out and, be an art teacher or an artist or anything. I thought, oh my goodness, I'm just going to, go to college and see what happens. So nothing was career driven or focused. So for me to have been a part, oh my gosh, the things I could have done, right?
I would join the Teen Arts Council again as well. Just learning about everything has really driven me to become more interested into my career and potential careers that I would have in the future. Also, just being in the Teen Arts Council has really helped me make connections with people, and really has helped me learn like skill sets that I would really need in the future.